Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the concept of the selective repeat protocol. The selective repeat protocol is said to be having an advantage over all other protocols, where it is said to be the errors are said to be less, and even the line at which the information is being passed, the frames takes less time to travel through the particular line, and its bandwidth is also less, as it gets the processes executed as fast as it possible, because it doesn't get stuck in between. When one process is being stuck, the other frames are said to be executing smoothly without any disturbances. Only the struck frame, whichever it is there, it may be executed later. It's nothing but it can be transmitted later. So here bandwidth occupation is said to be less, and it has a buffer of its own. Like in the receiver's end, whatever information is being there, it will be received continuously without stop. Okay, it maintains a buffer for itself, and it doesn't wait for multiple frames. Only thing is that it will not be transmitted to the next layer. It waits for that particular things to get sequentially managed, then it transmits to the network layer. Remember, all these take place within the data link layer. After data link layer, your information gets transferred to the network layer. So before passing to the network layer, all the things are said to be arranged properly in sequence, then only it will be transmitted in the selective repeat protocol. Okay, so let's check out what happens in the selective repeat protocol. So selective repeat protocol, both the sender and the receiver, they maintain their own windows. They have their own windows, and nothing but a frame of window will be there, and another frame of window will be there. From this window, the information passes, and the other end, the window, the information is being accepted with particular sequence number. Okay, it follows certain sequence number, and the sender's window size, remember, it will be starting from 0 and it grows as it is said to be sending to the other end. But the receiver's window, it is said to be having a fixed frame window. Okay, because when the information is being passed from the sender's window, automatically the receiver's window, their window size is being fixed, so it will not change, but it will be in a larger extent, so that it can manage multiple data at a time. Like that way, this window size, it will be fixed. Okay, and the information is said to be at the other end, in the receiver's end, it will be buffered, and it will be stored with all the contents of the data. It happens, it has a fixed size, and it will be accepted by the receiver. Okay, with particular size and the sequence numbers. Okay, this is your diagram for your selective repeat. You can check out here. You have the frames, this is your window which passes your information to the other window. This is sender and the receiver. The information, it will be passed. The senders and the sender's size is different, and the receiver size is said to be fixed. At the other end, it will move from the one section to the another section one by one, without waiting the information is being passed. But when an acknowledgement is not being passed by any of the frames, that frame may be continued later when it gets corrected. Okay, that happens in the selective repeat protocol. It doesn't wait, it continuously runs the window and the frames without waiting. But actually, when any information is being struck, it can be once again retransmitted later. That happens here in the selective protocol. And whenever the information is being passed, the buffer size is said to be either full, or it is said to be empty. That information, it will be received by the sender's window or the receiver's window. Okay, that happens here. And whenever the frames arise, it will be arrived with the certain sequence number. You can check out here the information, it is being arrived, and in that particular sequence only the information travels to the other end. If any problem is there, remember that particular frame, it will come out, it may run later, and once again it may join that particular section. Okay, so this is your selective repeat protocol. Okay, so let's check out with the other things in the protocol. Okay, when the information is being passed, it is said to be like having a frame and having the packets which are being transmitted from the other layer to the network layer. Nothing but your data link layer. From data link layer, network layer, information is being passed. So whatever happens, it will be stored in that particular layer, but it will not be transmitted. Whenever all the frames are accepted, then only it will be transmitted to the network layer. And here remember, whatever frames are there, it will be accepted, and it will be like, if any problem is there, if it is not delivered to the other end, the other frames which are said to be received, it will be pending in that particular layered window, that is your receiver's window. All the numbers are being received, sequence number frames are received, then only it will be transmitting to the network layer. That happens in the selective repeat protocol. And the selective repeat protocol, it is said to be having a window which is of at least size 1 of half of the 2 to the power m. Okay, 2 to the power m, whatever size of the frame is there, that frame size, it should be like whenever information is being passed, when some frames may not be passing, the sender is not receiving the data till it has received something, then he sends it. But at least in the sender's window, it should be 1/2 of the 2. Okay, consider 10. In 10, at least 3 should be sent at a time. That way it happens in the selective repeat protocol. Okay, this is your diagram for it. You have the frames which are being transmitted to the receiver's end, from the sender to the receiver. One by one it sends. The acknowledgement is being passed here. If something happens, if the acknowledgement or the frame is not being passed in between, that is your frame 2. So what happens is, it may run the frame 3, but when the acknowledgement is not said to be received, the frames once again, if any problem is there, it will be resent back to the other end after correction, and it will be running the other frames simultaneously without any problem. It will be sent to the receiver's end, but it will not be transmitted to the network layer. Okay, and sender, it retransmits whatever the frame which is there, which is not said to be acknowledged, and because of which it increases the efficiency of the protocol. Okay, there are certain advantages and disadvantages. It has a fewer retransmission, like all the frames it will not get retransmitted, only few are there which will be having the errors which will be retransmitted. And the main disadvantage is that it can have multiple senders at a time. Multiple frames can be sent at a time, so it is little bit complex, and it should be like sending the acknowledgement one by one. All at a time the acknowledgement, it will not be received. One by one it will be sending the acknowledgement, and the receiver's frame, till the frame accepts the information, that sequence it should be maintained in the particular receiver section. Then only it can be transmitted to the other end. That is the disadvantage. It cannot be passing to the next layer without all the sequence frames are being received. Without that, it cannot be transmitted to the other layer. That is the disadvantage. And selective repeat, it has a little bit advantages over all other protocols, that is your go back and stop and wait, and it is said to be superior to that of the other protocols. Okay, and this is one example which is being sent. You can check out here the example. What does it say is, the packets are being sent here. Okay, if the packets is said to be like 1 has received, 1, 2, 3 are being sent. Okay, and 3 is sent and 2 is acknowledged, but your 2 is not said to be acknowledged because it is in pink. So 4 is sent, 3 is sent. Okay, one by one it will be sent. Okay, you receive here 1, 2 is pending, 3 and 4 are in the queue. So next what happens is, still 2 has to be retransmitted. So you once again another frame comes 5 into the string. So 1, 3, 4 are there. Still 2 is not acknowledged. Once again 2 is said to be retransmitted, and it will be in the buffer of the receiver section. So whenever a pending is there, it should be received, then only it can be transmitted. This is your selective repeat protocol. Select the things which are said to be not occupying properly. Those are said to be corrected, then it will be repeated back in the other things. Okay, this is your selective repeat protocol. Okay, thank you.